We're opening the shop in like a month. I've ordered these boxes that I'm going to be using for creating little gift sets. And I also kept like some of the pink elements in there, so I'm so excited. So now we're going to go back into this hole number 2 here. We've got our perfect straight edge. It's nice and clean. Okay, we finally ticked that off our list. That's really amazing. And so we have so much prep to do this week, and I'm really excited to take you along. Hi, and welcome to another studio vlog. Today we're opening up in the greenhouse, which is also going to be the pop-up shop for my new Christmas stationery shop. We're opening the shop in like a month. And so we have so much prep to do this week, and I'm really excited to take you along. If you're new here, my name is Malin, and I make handmade stationery that I illustrate and then make in my studio here in Sweden. And I just take you along for the behind the scenes of like what it's actually like to run a small business and both the highs and the lows. So if that sounds really fun, then make sure that you come along. I actually wanted to start in here today because so much has happened, and I wanted to show you a few things. And then I also want to go inside the studio today and just show you the different products that we've been making. And then this week is going to be all about starting to actually assemble, make a lot of products, and make sure we have enough to stock all the shelves in here. So far we have the Christmas tree decorated, there's lights in it, and I've been putting up all the different like main structures just to make sure that we've got this really nice like garland that we're gonna hang like lights in. We got the little dollhouse in the back where we're gonna have kids products, and then we've got like this table where I'm gonna be having some core featured products as soon as you come in. I've tried to focus on making the structure like so you would walk around like this and it would feel natural, and then you would end up at the very end it looks a little bit messy at the moment, at the kind of like checkout area over here. So that's the main plan. As you can see, I've got like nice tablecloths and everything, but there's all the actual decor and all the product still needs to come in. So that's what we're gonna do this week. I have 2 special projects. Wait, let me put you down. I have 2 special projects that I want to do for the greenhouse because I really want to make sure that we have that really magical toy shop. Like if you've watched Paddington, you know, like the bookshop and all this stuff. Yeah. So I've got 2 projects. The first one is that I've got these like little cotton balls that I've been making that I'm going to put on strings to make it look like snow. And I'm going to put that by the entrance. And then I also have this strategy of thinking we're going to make it look like the books, or almost like in Harry Potter where they're like flying out, the pages are coming out. My mom sent me an inspiration picture from one of the trips they went on, and I think it looks amazing. And I think it would be perfect for the place where we're going to be selling stationery sets and bookmarks. So those are going to be 2 really fun projects I'm going to attempt to finish this week, and we'll see how that goes. Before we head in, I just wanted to show you because, you know, when you're running a shop, you want it to feel very professional. So I got these in 2 sizes. These are like bags that you can have to put your products inside, and they got these really cute motifs. So I've got the bigger size and I got the smaller size, and I think that will be perfect for packing. We're gonna have some ceramics and things like that from other shops, so I think that will be really nice. It's getting so much darker in here, you can really tell it's starting to be winter, but I made a few new products since last week, so I wanted to show them to you. So the first one is like a notepad. So this is like the typical ones that I make, which are like 50 pages, thicker, like 120 GSM paper. And it's got all these like nice flowers, oranges and things that match everything that we do in the marketing also. So I thought that could be a really nice way to kind of tie that together. And I decided to leave this blank instead of putting like shopping list or something, just so people can use it for whatever they want. It's got like a cardboard backing. And then I also wanted to make some kids products specifically. So I decided to make this bookmark, which is like a whale bookmark. And this one actually laminated. So it's 300 GSM paper. And then I decided to laminate it because when kids play with things, you always want them to be an extra bit durable. And I think it turned out really sweet. And then I also decided to put some of my more seasonal products that are for like summer and spring in these little kind of mystery packages. So I thought that could be a really sweet way that if people just really like all the designs in general, they don't know what to get, they can just get one of these mystery packages for a bit of a discount. I have also been working on a couple more pages for the wall calendar. So that's coming along really nicely. And I think some of them are going to be so sweet as notebook designs as well. I've got one with butterflies and one with mushrooms and one with strawberries and flowers. So I'll show you them here on the screen. I think they turned out really cute, and I like having kind of this mix of like symmetry for some of them, being a little bit more organic feeling, but it still feels like nice and organized. So I think that's going to be a really sweet way to kind of make the different pages of the calendar feel unique, but still feel cohesive as one calendar with one theme. I also set up the document where I'm going to actually have all of the different days in the calendar and notes and everything like that. So now I just need to finish the last couple designs this week, and then we can start putting together the different calendars. The trickiest bit about the calendar is figuring out how to actually make those different holes at the top so we can put the spiral binding in it. Because there are machines that do it where you basically do like a cut similar to when you have like a hole punch, but it's like little squares holes at the top. And getting one of those machines is quite expensive. So I'm looking for a place that I could either borrow one or if there's another workaround. So I'm looking into that and we'll see how that turns out this week. You can definitely order them, but you have to order really big quantities. And one of the things I'm really trying to do with the greenhouse and the pop-up and everything is to really make sure I can make everything in-house so I can make really small quantities to start with. Because that means I can try out lots of different products without having to invest a lot upfront. One of the things that I think is going to be really sweet is I've ordered these boxes that I'm going to be using for creating little gift sets. So I want to do one that is like a readers, book lovers kind of one. So what I want to do today is incorporate a notebook into this one where we can have like hot cocoa, reading, things like that. So let's get drawing on that one. But first I'm going to need some lunch because I have been waiting too long. And I'm making these really nice like pita breads with vegan kebab, and you've got like all the sauces and stuff to make it. So I'm really excited. I'll go do that and then we'll work on the design. Hi, today's Wednesday and so many exciting things have happened since we last talked on Monday. I got a delivery of the boxes, I've made a bunch of products, and I wanted to take this opportunity to really talk to you about my creative process because usually things go a little bit more smoothly. But with this product that I've been making, I really had to kind of dig deep and allow myself to redo and redo. And I think that's really important. So I wanted to show you what happened. So let me share with you. So I got these boxes delivered, which are perfect. They're exactly what I wanted. They're only 3 centimeters tall, which means I can also put them in the mail, which is perfect for using beyond the pop-up shop as well. They're like a really nice Christmassy color, but they also go really well with my brand. So my idea is to make up a few different themed boxes. And one of them is going to be a kind of bookish box. So I want to have everything reading. So my goal is to put a notepad that is going to have like books and cute cozy things in it. There's going to be a reading journal and there's going to be bookmarks. I might put in a print as well, we'll see. But the problem I was having was with the notepad. So normally what I do is I sketch out the layout, then I do color blocking, and then I draw, and it's like a smooth process. But this time it really didn't go to plan. So I started by sketching it out. I was loving the drawing that I made. I'll put it up here. And then when I started coloring, I was noticing that like I was having a lot more different objects than I normally do. So if we look at some of my other notepads, you'll see that they have like maybe a few different elements. And in this one, I wanted it to be really cozy. So besides books, I had like things for tea or like cinnamon buns or cozy things, nature-inspired things. And it was getting a little messy. So I just wasn't finding like a natural color palette because I had this book and the flowers at the bottom that I absolutely loved, and I wanted it to be distinct from the other notepads that I have. My initial idea was to make it a bit more dark and cozy, and so I had like a darker green background, and I kept trying to work with it and it just really wasn't working. This happens sometimes and I tend to get a little bit too stuck and frustrated with it. So what I decided to do was I talked to my husband, who's also my design partner, and he was able to give me some pointers. So we looked at removing some of the different elements and adding in a bit more sameness, so books instead of other new elements like socks, for example. And that was really helpful. And then I just tried out like 5-6 different color palettes, not feeling like I had to find the perfect one right away, just testing it out. And then eventually we found one that I really like. And I just wanted to say that because I know that sometimes when you're creating, and especially if you're running your own small business and you're doing it by yourself, it can feel really frustrating when you're excited about a product and you also feel like you want to be productive and get it out there, but you feel really stuck. So if that happens, sometimes it's good to step away, ask someone, even if they're not a designer, just ask them for a bit of feedback. That could be really helpful. But now it is finished and I'm so excited and I want to show it to you. So here's what it looks like. So it has, see if we can focus, books and tea and flowers. So I did keep that. And I've kept the color palette light, but introducing some blues, which I don't normally have. So I think it's really sweet, a little bit more colorful. And I also kept like some of the pink elements in there. So I'm so excited. What we're gonna do now is I've actually been working on the reading journal and I've printed all the pages. So now we're gonna be assembling that and I'll show you how I do bookbinding for these as well. So here we have all the supplies to make the reading journal. This is the cover. I print this on a thicker 300 GSM paper. So we got the cover, got the back with just a bit of details, and then I printed all the pages. You have to be a little bit clever when you print these because you have to think about how it's going to fold. So making sure that, we're going to put these pages inside of each other. So this one is not going to be next to this one. This is going to be at the very end. So just have a think about that when you do your layouts. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to fold all of these and put them all together. And then we're going to use the awl, this one which has a little spike, to make holes. And I'll show you that. But let me just fold all these pages first. So now we have all the pages folded and I've put them inside of each other. So you'll see that they're all kind of sitting inside one. And that also means we get a little bit of overage here, which we're going to cut off at the end. So that's totally fine. What we want to do now is we're going to be using this wax thread to be sewing this together. And so I need to use the awl to make the holes. And to make sure they get in the same place everywhere, because it's a little bit too thick to do it all at once, I'm just going to use a little guide. So just pick a scrap piece of paper for this. And then we're going to put the cover like this. And we're going to just put it along the edge here and mark first right in the middle, because I'm going to be making 5 holes. Right in the middle, a little bit in from the bottom, the same distance from the top, and then one in between that middle one and the top or bottom one. So we end up with 5 different little marks here. And now we can go into our journal. And we are going to make sure that we are holding the marks in the spine here. And we're going to use the awl to make those marks. You really don't have to make very big holes, and we also don't want to be punching very hard. I'm going to try to do this showing it. There you go. Now we have the little holes there. Might be a little bit tricky to see, but we've got our 5 holes. So now we need to do the same thing for the different pages. I find that with this many pages, it's a little bit difficult to do it all at once. So I like to split this up into 2 or 3 different parts. Just remember how they were assembled. So I like to start with the ones that's going to be closer to the cover first. So I'm going to do the same exact thing, make sure the pages are lined up, take my little guide, put that inside, and then make the holes the exact same way that we did for the cover. Great, so now we're ready to start sewing. So I'm going to take the wax thread and I'm going to put about double the length of the actual book spine that we have. So something like this. It's always nice to take a little bit extra just because I don't want to come up too short. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to be starting right in the middle. So we want to make sure that everything is lined up, and we're going to go through this first hole right in the middle. And we're going to pull it through to make sure we have a bit of a tail left in the middle. Now I'm going to go back in one of these ones, the bottom or the top, doesn't really matter, but one of them right next to the middle one. As we're pulling it through, we make sure they're still nice and aligned and that this is all taut. There we go. So now we're going to go down into the one at the very edge. So we're going to be making a stitch here. You'll see we have this stitch, the first one that we did, and now we also have one on the inside. So now we're going to go back into this hole number 2 here. Just pull that through, and we're going to come right back up into the inside of the book. So now we're going to skip this one and go straight to the other side, because we're going to come right back up here in a little bit. So we're going right in this hole. Now we can go up to this top one. Now we are finally going to go into this hole, and then right back up through the middle one that we started with. And here you want to make sure that this thread that you started with is going to be on one side of this one, and then we're going to come up on the other side. And then finally we can take these two, make sure it's all taut here, all taut on the spine where we've been sewing. We can also just make sure we open the first pages, make sure there's nothing that looks a little bit odd here, but it all looks great. So then what we can do is we just take these and we make a nice simple knot, pulling away from the sides. So like that. And then we can cut it off. And this is now the nice binding of our very own notebook, or in this case, it's a reading journal. Now there's one last step, which is we have this slight overage here, which I want to get rid of. So I'm going to use a really sharp knife to get that off. So to make sure I have really straight edges, I'm going to use this really thick, a little bit wider ruler, just so I can get a lot of pressure down and I can have a very controlled way when I'm cutting. So I'm going to have a little bit of the cover being cut as well. So this is something you definitely want to think about when you're actually laying out your pages, that you have a little bit of margin on the side. And then I'm just going to use an X-Acto knife to just slowly cut away at the layers one by one. We want to really make sure that it's not moving anywhere, so we're keeping that pressure on the way down, just letting it do a few pages at a time. Almost there. And that's finished. We've got our perfect straight edge. It's nice and clean, and I'm super excited. It turned out super sweet, so that's going to be part of the box now. Hi, today's Thursday, and I just wanted to pop in because yes, we found a machine for making the holes in the calendar. My mom has a friend who works at this amazing place with lots of cool tech, and they actually had one that we can borrow. So yes. So now there's a bit more pressure on me trying to finish all the pages a little bit quicker, just so that we can have time, because what I want to do is I need to order the actual spirals. And what I've learned, which I had no idea about before, is that there are different numbers of spirals for those different machines. So I need to find out how many actual holes this spiral machine is going to be making, and then I need to order however many I need of those spiral ones that match that. So that's top priority. And this morning I actually did something really exciting. I wanted to really create something cute and a little bit magical for our marketing, and that I could post to both Facebook and Instagram. So I created this little stop motion setup where I had all the different products that go in the little bookish box, and I'll put it up here on screen. It was really sweet and it was really fun to create. Definitely want to be making more of that, but it takes a bit of time. So it was a really fun experiment. We'll see how it does. My parents are coming over today with some supplies for finishing off the sign and everything. So I'm going to be focusing on really trying to get the flyer, the signage, decoration, all that amped up. And hopefully I can do a lot of that tomorrow as well, and then make a bit more of the stock. But I'm starting to be kind of done with a lot of the actual designs except for the calendar. So the Christmas cards are done, a lot of the notebooks are done. I've got the different boxes and the notepads and everything finished. So we're getting there. So I'm going to be actually working away at making a bit more stock of the cards now. And then I'll see you tomorrow where we can actually be doing a bit more decorating. Hi, today's Friday, and today we are going to decorate the greenhouse, and we're going to work on a lot of the designs and just make sure we're moving forward with all the different projects. And the first one I want to work on is the pages flying kind of, so let's do that. So it's time to do one of the really nice crafts. I've got all these pages here that I have ripped out from a very broken book, otherwise I would never ruin a book, but I tried to do them quite rough so that this will have a bit more of that cozy secret bookstore effect. And then I've got thread and needle, I've got a nice drink, a nice saffron bun, and I'm watching some Emily Harvey art, because now I'm going to be making these sit on a string I'm hoping the results will be really nice. I'll be able to show you in a sec. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this thread and I'm basically going to put it through one of the corners, and then I'm going to thread on another page, do a little knot and so forth, and then do that on 4 corners on all of them. And that way they will be like suspended in the air is my hope. So I'm going to sit down, just do that, enjoy a nice little resting time, and then I'll show you the end result in a little sec. It's finished. I am so happy I have finally put this together. It could definitely be a little more unruly. I'm going to make another one and I'm going to try to make it a little bit more unruly, a little bit more like it's flying. But I think once I style this with like all the books and all the bookmarks and things, it will feel really sweet and like a little bit of a magical element when you can put some fairy lights around there. So basically I just made sure I sew it together where I have like the different pages. I try to mismatch how much the distance is between them to make it a little bit, just feel a little bit more like it's flying. It looks a little bit creative. And I think also like from a distance you don't see the threads really. So okay, we finally ticked that off our list. That's really amazing. I'm so excited that we were actually finally able to do this decoration with the flying pages. I've been wanting to do it for so long. And I'm going to make a second one, but for now I'm really happy I've figured it out and I've tried it and it's in there. So we can continue to just decorate and add more things. And also, while I was having my lunch, I was also sketching. So I've sketched out another one of the calendar pages and it turned out really cute. So now I just have to color it. It's going to be like caterpillars and like these really pretty flowers. In Swedish they're called krasse, but yeah, really pretty. And so I'm gonna try to finish that and then we'll make a little bit of progress on the calendar. But I'm actually gonna wrap up the vlog here because it's really cozy. I just wanna like relax, listen to a nice audiobook, and I'm going to also plan a little bit for next week. So I'm really excited about that and thank you so much for coming along. It's just really nice to be able to share this progress because I'm figuring everything out along the way and it feels like you're like helping me on the way. So I really appreciate you watching and supporting and being so lovely. So thank you so much and I'll see you next week. Bye!